Welcome back, everyone. Today we're going to be upcycling a pair of jeans into a skirt. We'll be adding zippers up front to make it adjustable, a ruffle bottom, and detachable strap. This is also a super easy upcycle project, so if you're new to sewing, you should have no problem following the step-by-step tutorial. With all that being said, let's get started. Getting started with supplies, you'll need one pair of pants, and you can use any style of pants for this project. This is a slimmer fit. If you want more fabric to work with when it comes to the ruffles, I do recommend getting a baggier fit. Along with the pants, you'll need a couple zippers. I'm only adding 2, so I have 2 zippers. The length will vary depending on how long you want to make the adjustment, so it's best to get longer zippers because you want it longer than your adjustment cut. And no worries because we're going to be trimming the end after we sew it on. But anyways, moving on to assembly, the first thing we're going to do is measure down 2 to 4 inches on the inseam from the center seam. If you want to make a longer skirt, you can cut further down the pant leg, but remember you're going to be reducing the amount of fabric you can use in later steps. We will be using both pant legs in later steps, but for the moment we can place them off to the side. Now we can move back to the top section and de-thread the remaining portion of the inseam. With the bottom opened up, we can move to the center seam and de-thread to the bottom of the fly. The goal is to de-thread high enough so that we can overlap the 2 sides and the front panel sits flat. Now that the front side is complete, we can flip it over and do the same thing to the back. But for this side, we're only going to de-thread up the center seam to the center of the pockets. Just like with the front, we want to overlap the 2 sides so the back panel sits flat. If it's not sitting perfectly flat, then you can de-thread a little bit higher. Depending on how wide your pants are, you may have a little gap at the bottom, but don't worry about that, we'll be trimming it in later steps. To finish everything off, we're going to roll the bottom edge over and pin it down. And what we're going to do is sew directly in the factory stitch paths. This is a double stitch seam, so I'm going to add a stitch on each side and then one at the bottom. Flip the pants back over to the front side and we're going to repeat the process. Overlap the 2 sides, fold in the bottom edge, and place a few pins. We'll be doing the same stitch, 2 at the top and 1 at the bottom. For the best results, I recommend matching the thread color to what's on your pants so it blends everything together. And at this point, you should have a skirt that's ready to wear. The next thing we're going to do is trim the bottom edge, and there's a few different ways you can do this. You can trim on a diagonal, straight across, or even make up a random design. And you can also change up the height of the skirt. If it's too long, you can trim it up to the size you would like. But what I'm going to be doing is tapering mine from the center towards the outside edge, giving it a subtle curve. Now that we have the top section complete, we can grab both of the zippers. Like I said in the beginning, I'm only adding 2, but feel free to add more than 2. And I'm only going up about 8 inches because I want to avoid the pocket and the waistband. But if you cut your skirt longer, then you can go as high as you would like. And lastly, you can place them anywhere along that bottom edge. I'll be placing mine in the center of the front panels. And one more time, as you can see, my zipper is way longer than the cut I'm going to make. You don't need them to be this long, but you do want them to be longer than the cut you're going to make in the pants. It makes it a lot easier to attach a zipper, and we can always trim the end after we sew them on. Now that I have the placement of both of my zippers, I'm going to mark the top and the bottom. Connect the 2 points, and this will be your cut path. And you're trying to make the 2 cuts as even as possible. These 2 openings are going to be where we attach our zippers and our adjustment panels that we cut in the next step. And that's going to complete the top section of the pants, so for the moment we can place them off to the side. Now we can grab both of the pant legs that we cut in the previous step, separate the 2 panels, and flip them around to the inseam. This is because I'm trying to keep the double stitch intact so I can use it as a feature in my design. If your double stitch is on the inseam, then you can cut the side seam. After cutting, open up the panels and lay them out flat. And we'll be trying to use all this material within the design. Before you make any cuts, grab the top section and measure the openings. Measure the sides and how far you want it to open at the bottom. I went ahead and cut a test panel just to give you an idea of what the shape is going to look like. And I'm also going to quickly pin it inside to give you a visual. I cut this one to about 10 inches at the bottom, and this is what it looks like, so if you want to go bigger, you can go bigger or smaller. I also cut mine about 1.5 inches taller than the cut path. This is going to give me a little space to work with, and it's also going to give me the option to hem it in future steps. So it's best to cut it taller because you can always trim it down. The last thing I did was add a couple inches along the top edge so we have room to sew the zippers on. And I do recommend cutting out a template before you cut it out of your pants. It makes it a lot easier because then we can take that template, move it around the pants, and figure out where we want to make our cuts. Like I said, I want to utilize the double seam, so I'm going to put that in the center of my template. Real quick, before making the cut, make sure you have the wrong sides together for both of the pant legs, and you have the double stitch seams lined up. From here, place a few pins so the layers don't shift around and cut around the outside edge of your template. We will be utilizing the remaining fabric, but for the moment we can place it off to the side. Now we can separate the 2 panels with right sides facing up. This next step is optional. I'm going to be adding a few stitches down the center so that way it folds up similar to an accordion. I think it gives it a nice look, and it also makes it easier to use if you're zipping it closed. But if you don't like that look, then you can go ahead and skip to the next step. Since these panels are not that wide, I don't have a ton of space to add stitching, so I'm going to add one on each side of the center stitch. It's super simple, just fold the outside edges inward for both of the panels, and we're going to add a stitch directly down each side. I'll be placing my stitch about 1/4 inch away from the outside edge. The deeper you make that stitch, the more fabric you'll use, and it's going to reduce the overall width of the panel. But as you can see, it gives it a little bit better fold, so that way it's going to close easier. The more you have, the better it's going to work, but I don't have a ton of space to work with. You can squeeze a couple more in, but be careful not to close off the top edge, and also stay away from the side edges because you need room to install the zipper. But anyways, moving on, we can grab the top section and our zippers. With the zipper closed, place it along the cut path with right sides together. And you want the zipper train facing the bottom edge. You also want the start point to line up with the bottom edge. Now we can grab one of the panels, place it directly on top with right sides together. Then repeat this process for the second opening. Once you have both sides perfectly lined up, place a few pins and stitch directly along the zipper edge at 1/4 inch seam allowance. I'm also folding the zipper end in once I get to the bottom. And I like to quickly double check to make sure all the layers got stitched together. If everything is looking good, we're going to sew the opposite side, and to do this, we're going to flip the pants inside out. Just like in the previous step, we're going to line up the zipper first with the right side together, and then we're going to grab the opposite side of the template and place it over top with right sides together. And make sure you pull the top section of the zipper to the inside of the pants. Repeat this step for the opposite opening, place a few pins, take it to your sewing machine, and stitch at 1/4 inch seam allowance. And just like that, our zippers and adjustment panels are sewn on. To seal off the top, you can add a tack stitch, only sewing the zipper and the adjustment panel. Then from there, you can trim the zipper end. Now we can flip the right sides out and quickly take a look at the openings. I want to clean it up a little bit, so I'm going to be adding a top stitch around the zipper edge. So what I'm going to do is pull both those panels back so the zipper is exposed and add a top stitch around the outside edge. This step is optional. If you don't like the look of a top stitch, you can skip ahead. I just think it cleans it up nice, separates the zipper from the fabric, and overall gives it a professional finish. Since I'm not going to be hemming the adjustment panels, I'm going to trim them flush with the bottom edge. If you do want to hem them, all you have to do is roll them over twice so it lines up with the bottom edge and add a top stitch. Either method works the same, it really comes down to what look you want in the end. But that's going to do it for the openings. If you want to add more, just follow the same exact steps and add them anywhere on the pants. If you do want to add them on the back, just watch out for the pockets. But anyways, that's going to do it for the top section, so for the moment we can place it off to the side. Next we'll be making the ruffle, so grab the remaining portion of the pant legs. I don't have a ton of fabric to work with, but the idea is to fold the fabric and make it look like ruffles. If you're using a wider cut pair of jeans, you have more fabric to work with, so you can make bigger folds. To do this, we'll be cutting strips. Since we cut out the bottom, we only have the top to work with. And I need this strip to be long enough so it goes all the way around the bottom edge of the skirt, so I'm going to cut it into 2 sections. This will give us 4 individual strips, and we want to make one big long strip. So place the right sides together, line up one of the side edges, and we're going to stitch that side edge at 1/4 inch seam allowance. Then we're going to connect both of the strips the same way. And remember, for each one of the stitches you make, add a top stitch. So when you finish up, you should have one big long strip. It might not be the exact measurement of your bottom edge, but no worries, we can always trim it down. From here, we can grab the top section and begin to make our folds. Lay the strip along the bottom edge and start folding the fabric until you reach the zipper. And the size of these folds will vary based on the amount of fabric you have to work with. Once you reach the zipper, trim the strip, giving yourself enough fabric to fold over. And for each one of the folds, I do recommend placing a pin so it doesn't shift around. Then we're going to continue this process all the way around the bottom edge. It does take a little bit of time, and if you don't have enough fabric, then you're going to want to make your folds smaller. But once you have all your folds in place and pinned down, we're going to take it to the sewing machine and stitch along the top edge. I want the raw edge at the top exposed, so I'm sewing it as is, and I'm also using a zigzag stitch. Over time, those raw edges will get more fluffy and give it more of a distressed look. And you don't have to use a zigzag stitch, I just want to switch it up for a different look. And a fun thing to do, if you have a ton of fabric left over, you can add multiple layers. Or if you have extra fabric laying around, you can do it in a different color fabric. For this next step, we'll be adding eyelets to each one of the folds. I'm using 8mm eyelets. Feel free to switch it up and use any size eyelet you would like. And I'll be adding eyelet to the entire fold, so I'll be going through 2 layers of fabric. The first thing we need to do is punch out the opening for the eyelet. I'm using a punch that came with my eyelet kit. If you don't have a punch, you can use scissors instead. I'll be punching out my openings in the corner of each fold along the bottom edge. With all the openings ready, we're going to grab the eyelet and place it through the opening from the right side. Flip the fold to the opposite side and add your backing. To install the eyelets, I'm using a hammer die. It also came with a kit. If you don't have a hammer die, you can use pliers or a press. It's really easy to use. Place the right side of the eyelet on the base and hammer it down from the back. You don't need a ton of force or else you're going to bend the eyelet. Now that we have one in, you're going to want to repeat the step for the rest of the openings. I only added 1 to each fold. You can also add more than 1 to each fold if you have enough eyelets. At this point, you could be done with the skirt, but we're going to do one more step. And the final step is making a strap we can connect to the belt loops. I'm using 2 strips of webbing, but feel free to switch it up and use any material. The first thing we need to do is figure out the size. I want mine to connect from the front belt loops to the back belt loops, so I'm going to line them up and then trim them down to size. And if you want them super long, then you can add extra length. To attach the straps to the belt loops, I'll be using lobster clasps. I have 4 total, 1 for each end of the webbing. Along with the clasp, I have strap adjusters. These are just going to be used for looks. I'm not actually going to install these the correct way. I'm just going to feed them onto the webbing and slide them down 1 to 2 feet. Now we can feed the webbing end through the clasp and fold the end over twice. This will give us a nice clean end and prevent the webbing from unraveling. And all you need to do to lock them down is add a tack stitch directly on the fold. Repeat this step for the opposite side. Add both your clasps, take it to your sewing machine, and add your tack stitches. And I recommend going back and forth a few times to really lock it down. As you can see, I also added a couple eyelets to the webbing. It just looked a little bit bland, so I wanted to spice it up. The fun thing about this is that you can actually connect these to any of the belt loops, so you can switch it up as you go. The last thing I did was add my branding. I used leather strips added with double-sided rivets. I placed them on the zipper pulls and even one inside the adjustment panel. And there's other options for branding. You can embroider, screen print, or even use woven tags. I highly recommend doing it because it really takes your upcycle project to another level. And like I said in previous steps, the raw edge at the bottom will get fuzzier over time to complete the distressed look. But anyways, that's going to complete this upcycle project. I hope you had some fun and learned a few new sewing techniques. And there you have it. Your new upcycled skirt is complete. Hopefully yours turned out as good as mine did. And with this project, you can really change up the look by adding multiple zippers around the bottom, more layers of ruffles, or even bringing in a secondary fabric and adding different layers of ruffles with that secondary fabric. Another thing you can do is switch up the color of the denim. I went with the vintage wash. If you go with the classic blue, it'll give it a totally different feel. But like always, I'd love to see what you come up with, so tag me on Instagram at ProperFitClothing. And until then, I'm going to keep the videos coming, so I'll see you next time.